Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Ashley Brianna Eve, and today we are just doing a roundup. So I haven't done any updates on just the news within the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively universe of lawsuits. And I don't know how long. It's been a while, but this is how we started this channel, was just hanging out on live streams and chatting about what's going down. And then somehow my ADHD hyperfixation got focused on these deep dives, which I love, and you guys seem to be loving as well. But I didn't want to lose the heart of this channel, which was really just hanging out with you guys and talking about some of the breaking news that's happening. Now, you guys have been flooding my DMs, my email about some of the stuff that's gone on today. I'm hoping I have... Hello, Lily Mae. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Oh my goodness. It's always so nice to see familiar faces. So I hope I have the most recent filing. I have just a bunch of links I was looking at. We're going to go through it together. I haven't had a chance yet. Hello, Denise. Hello, hello. Hi, only found you today. I love the investigation. I'm so glad. Well, welcome to the community. It is a great community here. Having a safe place where you guys can just hang out and have fun is critical to me for this space. And I have to say that it's because of each of you that the community is what it is. So thank you for being here, guys. All right, so let's just dive in. Let's have some fun. I have a hot chocolate. It's too late in the day. It is 2 p.m. Eastern for me. If I have coffee this late in the day, I will be up all night. So I have hot chocolate in my Just a Spicy Girl in a Sensitive World mug. Describes me really well. And let's dive in. And if you guys know about something, let me know in the chat. This is a group effort. All right, let's start here. So on X, I just saw this. This is what you guys kept sending me. Everyone was letting me know about this, thankfully, because I've been on client calls all day, back to back. So luckily, I have you guys looking out for me. So Citizen Journalist shared Into the Night, posted this originally, and then Citizen Journalist shared it. So this seems to be what Justin Baldoni's team, their response to the protective order permitting attorney eyes only. So let's have a look and see. Have you guys seen this one yet? Let's have a look and see what it says. All right. This is my first look at it too, guys. Dear Judge Lyman, as counsel for Wayfair Studios, LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and everyone else concerning their request for entry of a protective order to shield from public view documents and information exchanged herein. Do you guys want to make a bet that, hello, Mel, oh my goodness, the family's here, everyone's showing up, I love it, showing up for the hangout. Do you want to make a bet Taylor's going to be subpoenaed? Can you imagine the shock? Candace Owens talked about this. I might not have the video up, but I'll find it as we go. I wonder if this is all about Taylor, because can you imagine if Taylor's texts and everything become public? She's the next expose. I know it might be triggering for Swifties in the community. We do have Swifties in the community. She's the next kind of deep dive that we're going into, where we're also going to have my branding background. So we're also going to look at her. My background's in astrology, yes, but also branding. I work with large brands, lower level celebrities, not this level. Public figures, CEOs, entrepreneurs. And we're going to look at her from a branding perspective and SEO manipulation, as well as her involvement within this case, within It Ends With Us. So it'll be a really cool investigation as well that I've been working on. Hoping to get to it next week. But anyway, I think this is in regards to Taylor. Given how actively the Lively parties have publicized and litigated, Miss Lively's claims in the media, we are surprised to now learn how vehemently she wants to prevent the public from accessing materials and relevant evidence. It's true. If anyone's out there litigating in the public, it seems to be her. The Lively parties provide the New York Times with Miss Lively's otherwise confidential administrative complaint filed with the California Civil Rights Department and thousands of pages of original documents, including text messages and emails, which I do wonder how true that is, that the New York Times is claiming they got thousands of pages of documents, but it is what it is. See, Megan Twohy's It Ends With Us actor and director and his publicist sued the New York Times, or Times for libel. And then there's a link there. In his bombshell story, We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine, the Times regurgitated Miss Lively's allegations of sexual harassment. Miss Lively's counsel and spokesperson routinely, I love how they use spokesperson and Do you think that shade, guys, the spokesperson in the quotations of it's actually Blake Lively? I wonder if that's the shade they're trying to have. Swifties know her nature more than anyone. They love her breadcrumbing mastermind persona more than anyone. Well, that's a good point, too. That's a good point. I usually lose a lot of people when I do Taylor Swift stuff, but we're going to go there next week. A lot of people leave. That's okay. I try to do it from neutral and just from an interesting perspective. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Blake Lively's been out here with all of this, going to Saturday Night Live, making all these jokes. Miss Lively's counsel and spokesperson routinely attempt to rehabilitate her tarnished image with bold statements to the press, such as characterizing the Wayfair party's complaint as another chapter in the abuse playbook. See example, Blake Lively on Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, another chapter in the abuser's handbook. That is wild. The Hollywood Reporter. We're trying to convince the press that her amended complaint saves her meritless claims by referencing other purported victims, although she fails to name a single one. Well, other than in the Hollywood Reporter piece, which I did a reel on. Actually, we've all figured out the Hollywood Reporter piece live, where we all looked at the date and we were like, wait, what? If you guys remember. Worst of all, in a planned skit on NBC's Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special, which attracted almost 15 million viewers, Miss Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, stood up and made a joke about her claims for sexual harassment and emotional distress. In any event, given the order directing the parties to submit a proposed protective order, the Wayfair parties have no objection to entry of the court's model protective order. However, Lively's proposed protective order or any protective order permitting attorney's eyes only designation is not warranted. Although the Lively parties contend that the ability to designate the information AEO is appropriate because the litigation involves claims of SH in the workplace, Miss Lively has already publicized the alleged details of the so-called harassment. I love that they keep using shade with the quotes. And her amended complaint spanning 138 pages and almost 500 paragraphs. Therefore, Miss Lively lacks a good faith belief that there's any information of such a personally sensitive nature that discloses thereof the parties would unnecessarily violate her privacy rights. Furthermore, any legitimate concern the Lively parties have concerning the disclosure of highly sensitive personal information can be addressed under the procedure contained in the court's model protective order. According to paragraph 9 thereof, a party seeking additional limits on disclosure can serve upon counsel for the receiving party a written notice stating that particularly the grounds for the request. And if the parties are not able to reach an agreement promptly upon the treatment of such materials, they may raise the matter with the court. I mean, that seems respectfully. Well, yeah, we respectfully request that the court enter its model protective order. That makes sense to me. I don't know. It's a little bit of shade towards her lawyers and her team, and mostly her and Ryan of, y'all did this. Y'all brought this out. Irrelevant, but your hair looks great. Well, thank you. See, the trick is I try not to touch it. I touch it too much in a day and then it just goes to shit. We love shade. We do love shade here. Thank you, Haley. Thank you for being here. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Honestly, I just can't believe that I get to talk about this stuff and people actually care. I was joking with my husband. I said, he's kind of interested. He thinks it's cool, but I don't really have anyone to talk to about this. So anyway, that's that. They're just saying it's interesting that she can go out there and she can talk about all this stuff, but then there's protective orders on stuff she doesn't want out there. It's Blake Lively. I always say, I feel like she's writing a script. I feel like they just see this as one. Well, maybe that's the thing she can have authorship over. She can turn this into a movie or a book and she can have authorship over it. There's the authorship that Blake always wanted to have. And actually, on that note, let's transfer over. I figured out, was it yesterday? One of the community members sent me a link to let me know about this. Let me pull it up. Did you guys know that she had, let me find it here, a production company? Am I the only one that didn't know she had a production company? All right, let's pull it up. I'm going to pause it and then share with you guys. I can just hear my puppy screaming upstairs so that I have like moments of silence. My husband watches the puppy. I messaged my ex and linked the Wesley Snipes video you did, and he is now on Team Baldoni. That is amazing. I am so glad that helped. That makes me so happy. It is wild. Like when you actually go back and see everything that went into him and how he treated Wesley Snipes. Production company that's done nothing. Yep. With zero productions. Because guys, we don't understand. She needs to go in and fix other people's things. She can't have a blank page. That is what she said. She does what do we call it here? The rug pull. Yesterday, I could not say rug pull to save my life. It just kept coming out as rug pull. And now you guys are telling me to trademark it and make merch. I died when I saw those comments. All right. This is brand new to me. This is, whose account is this? Saren Things on X? Or no, on Threads. I think I originally found her account and then went over to TikTok.
Kate Borhoff, who runs B for Effort, which is my wife's production company with my wife, gave that to me as a Christmas present. And I thought,
did you know that Blake Lively has her own production company called B for Effort Studios? And frankly, that name is the most self-aware thing that I've seen of her yet, given her dedication to mediocrity. So that clip of Ryan Reynolds is from an interview he did in 2022 with Sean Levy about his movie, The Adam Project. That's the only clip I can find of either Blake or Ryan mentioning the production company, but it does seem to have been registered in 2020. And Blake is the only person listed on their business documentation as the CEO, the CFO, the everything. So between 2020 and 2022, B for Effort and Blake Lively announced a slate of films that they intend to produce. One of which is the film adaptation of the graphic novel Seconds, which is supposed to be Blake Lively's directorial debut. Of the 5 films that they announced over that 2-year span, none of them were made. Despite having huge studios attached to these projects like Netflix and casting Hollywood heavy hitters, these films never made it out of the planning stages. Anywho, so let's tuck that away. Let's move on to Kate Borhoff, who Ryan Reynolds calls Blake's business partner. On her LinkedIn, we can see that, yes, she's a partner at B for Effort between 2020 and 2022. And after that...
So, okay. It ends with us then was, help me out with this, guys. It was 2023 it started. But then Colleen Hoover also started a production company. I found out a couple of days ago about her production company. This is wild, right? It's not a blank page, so it should work for Blake. Well, that's true. Good point, Mel. That's a great point. She's got the story there. That should actually work out perfectly for her.
In 2022, she starts her own production company called Ladylike Productions. On the website for Ladylike Productions, we can learn a little bit more about Kate Borhoff, including who she is married to. She is married to Eric Charles, a senior executive at Sony Pictures. And as we all know, Sony is the distributor for It Ends With Us and is a major player in this whole mess. I'm so fucking tired and I just learned this, so I don't really know what this means in the grand scheme of things, but I'm sure it means something. Anywho, so after 2022, we stopped hearing about B for Effort Productions, and you can assume that it is no longer a functioning company. But it's also worth noting that it's in 2022 that Blake Lively is cast as Lily Bloom in It Ends With Us. Also, I know it is so common for projects to be announced in Hollywood that never actually become a thing. But I can't help but feel that all of these elements are coming together to tell us something. I just don't really know what it is yet.
I have to agree. It does seem weird to me. And again, it might be a coincidence. Kind of like yesterday. It's saying that's the loudest it will go. I'm sorry, guys. Was it really bad? Sorry about that, eh? I don't know if it was just TikTok pulling it through. I don't know if it's because of the rain that's hitting the room I'm in. Sorry about that. So the interesting thing for me is if that was 2022, I wonder if she was looking for something that, she can't have a blank page, she said. And if she took over the It Ends With Us franchise, would she have just brought it over into her production company? Because wasn't she... Now it's starting to make sense. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get like the fancy stuff. One day I'm gonna be like Emily D. Baker with like the fancy stuff. I promise. We're gonna get there. And then we can all laugh at the basic bitch days is what I like to call it. Y'all, you should have been here from day one about a month and a half ago. The OG community that was here from day one, we were like playing ads. Like I've only been doing this for like, I don't know, maybe 5 weeks total. Took 10 days out when my dog passed away. And we were like running ads in the middle of stuff I was streaming. So, I mean, we have improved. We're getting there. We were all dying. But yeah, I almost wonder, because I read something. Now, didn't she claim, don't quote me on this, but I feel like I saw in the interweb space that, I think one of you guys sent me this link. Let me just double check. It might actually be in my email, because I think she claimed, and I wonder when that was. These live streams are just fun, guys. We just roll with it. So if that stresses you out, sometimes it stresses people out for these kinds of live streams, just stick to the deep dives. There'll be more for you. Yeah, I can't find it. I'll see if I can. Oh, there it is. This might be it. Oh, no, that's 2025. Okay, I'll let you guys know what I was thinking, though. Kind of where I was going with this is I thought this had more teeth or no teeth to it than it did, but it's a nothing burger, I think, in terms of where my train of thought was going. So this is kind of where my train of thought was going. So you guys had sent me this article in regards to her being named one of the 100 most powerful women in Hollywood in 2024. And apparently she had claimed that she was having a director debut. Yeah. Oh, she was claiming It Ends With Us was her director debut. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird. It just feels weird to me that she had this production company, but she just didn't do anything with it. And then she tries to take over It Ends With Us, but that just might be nothing. It's okay. You still be a yummy ballbuster. Oh, thank you, A. I appreciate that. I love both the deep dives of the lives and the shorts. I'm so glad you guys were telling me. You're like, Ashley, do more shorts, please. So I don't know. That might have nothing to do with anything, but I just found it really interesting. The other thing I'm going to show you guys had asked me about this the other day. We were talking about the lie detector test. So never with teeth, Ashley. Hey, Leo. Yeah, never with teeth. We had talked about the lie detector test the other day, and I forgot to put the link in for you guys. So I don't forget things. I might forget it in the moment, but I do loop around to it again. Let me see if I can find it here. So this is significant because if we look back in Deadpool, when Deadpool originally leaked, and this is part of the deep dive, when Deadpool originally leaked, Ryan never took credit for it. It was suspected that Ryan had leaked it because he benefited from it being leaked. When Deadpool leaked, it was essentially when it got positive reviews, the studio was like, oh, okay, let's greenlight this because people obviously want it. And we finally got confirmation from Ryan Reynolds that, yeah, in fact, he was the one that leaked it. And it was in one of those like cheesy lie detector things. Why isn't it showing me that link? But I wanted to show you guys this. It's because I have way too many tabs open, is what my problem is. There we go. So guys, I want to show you guys why this is also significant, I feel, to the Blade Trinity issues. So if we look back at the Blade Trinity issues, Wesley Snipes had said that it was a Canadian comedian that people were listening to. Well, Oswald was the only one that seemed to be leaking this information to the public. He was the only one where we had a name really attached to all of these claims about Wesley Snipes' behavior on set. It was really only his name. No one really said anything about Ryan Reynolds, right? But if you pay attention to Wesley Snipes' language and the verbiage he uses at that time, he talks about, well, no one listened to me. Everyone was listening to the Canadian comedian. And so how my brain works, my ADHD brain, is I just follow these little threads, right? That's how I figured out the connection with Ari Emanuel, Ryan Reynolds, Blade, and Wesley Snipes, because I was researching Ari Emanuel and Ryan Reynolds, and that brought up Blade Trinity. So I follow these little threads, and it just seems really interesting to me that Wesley was trying to tell us who actually leaked it. but everyone was blaming other staff on Blade Trinity. But shit, I should have put the place where it talks about it. Okay, we might have to jump around a bit because this I was not prepared for.
In and around.
Oh. It's okay.
Okay, we're doing.
He was upset for you.
Well, I mean, I was technically born in a place called Murrayville.
Thank you.
You know what? I'll leave the questions to you.
Reynolds, thank you.
Thank you.
Are you about to take a lie detector test?
No shit.
Lewis, you're not meant to be smiling, Lewis.
Lewis, don't.
But don't.
Fucking blow this for us, Lewis.
Okay.
I had my lipstick.
Deceptive.
Oh, Jesus.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Ready
everyone
for that
in that
musical.
commercial, it's
Like, first of all, it's that Ryan is Deadpool. Hello, Pam Entertainment TV. It's so nice to see you here in the chat. You know, he, at the end of the day, he is Deadpool. I mean, you see him outside of Deadpool, and it's Ryan Reynolds. So it's the same type of humor. If we look back with Wesley Snipes again from the deep dive series we've been doing, one of Wesley's biggest gripes with Ryan was his what he called juvenile sense of humor. I can see how this would probably get tiring after a while. Sorry, guys. This is the one thing that I forgot to mark the time. I don't think I have the time written down. Usually I stamp it for myself so I know. So we'll just watch a little bit of this.
Fred Astaire and a mop. I was like, whoa, somebody's estate messed up.
Okay, is it true that your worst audition tape featured you singing?
Oh yeah, most of the worst things that have happened to me involve singing.
Lips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the song?
No, I don't remember.
Truthful.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
Did you get the part?
Next question, please.
I think that's it.
We've totally got
Do you prefer Lewis or Lou?
Lou.
Truthful. Next question, please.
You ran the 2008 New York City Marathon. What was you? Did you finish the New York City Marathon?
Sure. There, yeah. Wow. Yeah. This is outside the scope of. You know what? Next question, actually.
You and your wife, Blake Lively. Both. Oh, hang on. Let me just ask a question.
Thanks for saying the whole name.
Is Blake Lively really your wife?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Truthful.
Is it an arrangementship?
Well, there's a 25-year contract. Sure. I don't think she can make it.
Deceptive.
Oh.
15 years. Got it.
Right.
It's interesting as well when I saw that with Ryan Reynolds because there's a lot of rumors, and I know this is very controversial with Taylor Swift, but there's a lot of rumors in regards to Taylor and Travis being in a PR relationship. So I thought that question was also really interesting. And I also wonder if there's more kind of like arranged, if you will, partnerships, dating situations, marriages than we even know. The humor is exactly the same since X-Men Origins. Yeah, he hasn't changed at all. And I feel like once in a while, like I could get behind this kind of humor once in a while, but I feel like this would just be exhausting constantly. Ooh, lavender marriages. Is that what it is? I am behind on the times. He literally saw it right through the shitty humor. Yep, Wesley Snipes did. And he was the only one that called it out. Although for part 3 of our deep dive, which is tomorrow, I have some interesting stuff that I was able to uncover with people talking out against Ryan Reynolds, which was really interesting.
I'd finished Netflix, finished HBO Max, finished every streaming platform that exists. I had watched all the fucking Bob Ross specials in backwards even, by the way, which is a shot-for-shot remake of The Exorcist, and time to watch the Green Lantern. Yeah. And it was
Truthful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Lou.
watched the Green Lantern.
Lou's got
I was
timing.
a little drunk. That's also truthful. You don't even need to.
Will you ever watch Van Wilder as a family?
Oh, that's a good question. Somebody just asked me what happened. Like, this is a great question. This is a great question.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great question. This is a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Pass.
I just want to remind you that you are hooked up to a polygraph leaked onto the internet.
There it is.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to pick you up.
The test footage for the original Deadpool leaked onto the internet.
Mhm.
Were you behind the leak?
This is a great question.
Mm.
This is a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Pass.
I just want to remind you that you are hooked up to a polygraph machine.
I just want to remind you that this does not follow the letter of the fucking law. And if I wanted to break out of this room and destroy everything in my path, I will. I would say that what is the question?
And that's okay.
No, that's like, Lou wants to,
Also, the Hugh Jackman laughing to the point of like almost passing out. Like, I don't know. That might be his best acting as well. I don't know.
I'll tell you after though.
Please just answer the question.
Oh, well, for fuck's sake. I mean, I might have provided an assist.
Truthful.
I was Scottie Pippen. Hey, I was just there doing my job, and
You were not
someone
Jordan.
else gets all the credit.
Okay, got it. You starred in.
And the interesting thing with that as well is he says, I was there doing my job and someone else got all the credit. What is it with him and Blake Lively not allowing other people to get credit for their work? It's very bizarre to me. Please chat more shade. We love it. I did drama class with someone similar to Ryan. We did not like each other one bit. Yeah, I feel as though that would be very difficult to be around. So again, like the reason why I saw this is so significant is one, there was many questions where there was deception used. Apparently, I don't know. Who knows if this is even hooked up to anything? I'd like to believe it is, but I think sometimes I'm just a little naive. But two, again, he admitted roundabout to leaking the Deadpool footage. And then we have Wesley Snipes continually talking about the Canadian comedian, which is who people were believing. So I just believe that Ryan's behind a lot more of the problems that people are meeting after working with him than we originally realized. So that's something else I wanted to look at today because I promised you guys, I was like, yeah, I'll give you guys the link. And then I completely forgot. The dance scene. Have you guys, we're just going through some breaking news in regards to this case. The dance scene is another one, which I actually found very interesting. I don't know who originally broke this on X. I kind of saw it floating around a little bit last night and honestly, but I lay down at 9 o'clock to watch a movie and I am out drooling within 5 minutes. So I didn't loop around. And then I saw TMZ had it up as well, but it's very interesting what people are saying in regards to the It Ends With Us scene where they're dancing, the one that leaked that, she originally said SH happened on, and then Justin brought us the footage. We realized that that's actually not what's happening. She has since, in her amended lawsuit, changed her accusations around that scene. She's shifted the accusations, and now it's just see, I called him a psychopath during it. Well, you were calling him a psychopath for him and his wife staring in each other's eyes, not because he was an abuser. We can all see that with our eyes. But it was interesting because people were sharing this dance scene from Green Lantern, and it is the exact dance scene from It Ends With Us, but they are talking the entire time. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are talking the entire time during it. So it's really interesting. Was she trying to recreate it? Or is it just that she struggles with that intimacy so much that a dance scene where she's talking the whole time is more comfortable than just this dance scene where they're kind of looking in each other's eyes? And if you read the book, I know a lot of our community here has read the book. The things he does, Justin Baldoni, in that dance scene and It Ends With Us is exactly by the book. Even the touching of her lower lip, the book, the nuzzling of her neck. He has that obsession with the neck and the heart tattoo on her. All of those are quite literally by the book. But I think the problem is, one, she didn't read the book. And then two, there is a lot of speculation of was she trying to recreate this scene with Ryan from Green Lantern? I don't know. Blake wants to recreate her high school memory. Yeah, it's kind of that energy, right? Where it's trying to relive those golden years, if you will. And we can hear the conversation in that video, Blake. Exactly, Mel. It's you can't, does she take us as being stupid? And I think this is also, for me, why I feel it's so important to have televised trials, because you look at some of these trials and it's so easy to pay off the media and it's so easy for manipulation around what actually happened. And if you're looking at Ari Emanuel, Blake and Ryan's ride or die, well, I know there's a lot of talk about him owning the Hollywood Reporter. At the end of the day, the man owns, he basically owns Hollywood. Like, I think he goes so far above and beyond, and you guys have requested a deeper dive on him, so that's also on my list. But it goes so far and above and beyond just the Hollywood Reporter that I honestly, if I'm being honest with you, because I'm Canadian, so I don't know fully the US laws, but from my understanding, I get my law from The Lawyer You Know. He is fantastic. Love The Lawyer You Know. I also watch Legal Bites quite a bit. So my understanding is because it's federal, it's not going to be publicized. But then we have to, if there's not people, if there's not citizen journalists in the courtroom, if there's not people that can actually see and hear what's happening, how do we actually trust the media? How do we actually trust what's getting out to a lot of these publications that people are going to be picking up the energy? I've been talking about energy from human design all day on client calls. Now I'm stuck in the energy, but the words of, right? Media manipulation is real. Currently, Ryan interjected himself in the current Blade movie, causing the fan base to split, yes, and want Wesley Snipes back at the helm when Marvel had committed to the role. Oh, that's right. Isn't there someone? That's a good point. I forgot that there was. Oh, well, that's interesting too, now that I think about it. Because this causes drama, because you're right. Now the fan base wants Wesley back. Interesting. I've also wondered about offering Wesley. Now, this is going into more of like my branding background and working with brands. I didn't work in PR. I worked in branding, but I worked with PR representatives for my clients. There's a piece of me that's wondered because, they're friends with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the SEO manipulation queen, not just her. Big names do it all the time. We're going to talk about that when we do the deep dive into Taylor Swift. But she's really great at SEO manipulation, search engine optimization manipulation for platforms like Google, but also on every platform. But Google's a main one. And it's interesting because if you go through now and you search, and I can't, the argument I even have with myself here is Ryan, I don't think could have predicted all the bad press now. However, if you go through and you search Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds now in Google, you get all the positive stuff. You get about how Ryan called him and he was the good guy and he's starting his career again. Like he's helping Wesley reignite his career. And now people want Wesley back in the Marvel universe. And so Ryan's kind of positioned as the hero in this story now. And the articles within Google to find ones where it's problems between Ryan and Wesley, you actually have to really look for them. So I don't know. That might just be me thinking too much into it, but my branding brain kind of automatically goes there of like, well, that's a good business move to have also brought Wesley into Deadpool and Wolverine from a strictly branding perspective and reputation management perspective. Because especially if he's continuously getting people that are saying things against him, it pushes it down. But that's actually an also good point, the potentiality of also causing problems. A bit late, but my suggestion or suspicion with the lie detector is Ryan Reynolds bragging about what he did like a psychopath. I agree. P says federal cases nationwide aren't televised, but New York specifically, no matter what court level, isn't televised unless a judge allows it. That is good information. I didn't realize that. So it's going to be really important, I feel. Maybe we can get like Peter from Lawyer You Know to go. I love Peter from Lawyer You Know. He's fantastic. If you guys like legal, like unbiased legal commentary, absolutely fantastic. I want to fly to New York to sit on that court hearing. Seriously. From what I'm hearing, if you're VPN to another country, you can see stuff we don't have access to here. Oh. Interesting. Well, I'm in Canada. Could I see things? Do I have like a special pass? During promo, we can't see anything here. That's another story. I can't even see news articles. They get blocked. During promo for Deadpool 3, Ryan Reynolds reached out to TJ Miller and Snipes for image purposes prior to the fiasco. And CP, that's what I'm thinking, right? I was just working through that in real time as I'm kind of processing this. But it's interesting you said he reached out to TJ Miller too. And yeah, it's image purposes. It's reputation management. It's smart. it is smart, but I don't know. Okay. What did I have up next? Let me pull it up. Okay, this is Lively's legal team's response. I think this was just within the last 24 hours, if I'm right. And this is Leanne Newton over on X. So she posted this. I don't know how to check when online. Oh, there we go. February 24th at 5:50 p.m. So yesterday afternoon. She says Lively's legal team has now responded to Baldoni's earlier letter regarding the subpoena. So they're just going back and forth right now. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I misplaced it. Footnote 1 is really a choice to include. Wayfair don't want us to have the scope of discovery we've asked for in case we uncover his 5 mistresses and 5 psychiatrists, paraphrasing. All right, let's read it. Let's see what's going on here. I want to see what's going on. So this is Blake Lively's team. So we've read Justin's response. Now this is Blake Lively's. So to the judge, we write to address the Wayfair party's letter to the court in connection with the court's February 19th, 2025 order taking under advisement the Wayfair party's letter motion for discovery. The letter motion concerns purported objections to third-party subpoenas served by Miss Lively. On February 20th, 2025, the parties held a meet and confer during which counsel were able to agree that removing any requests for location data from the subpoenas and providing express language to clarify, as had previously been communicated to the Wayfair parties, that the requests applied exclusively to non-content information would allay certain of the Wayfair parties' concerns. Nonetheless, counsel for the Wayfair parties continue to maintain that the subpoenas were overbroad. Counsel for Miss Lively expressly requested that the Wayfair parties identify any modifications that would allay their concerns with the subpoena's punitive overbreadth, with the only limitation that the Wayfair parties were able to identify was their demand that Miss Lively limit her request to contacts with specific third-party telephone numbers identified in advance. As Miss Lively's counsel noted, such a limitation is inappropriate given the purpose of specific discovery sought and the purpose of discovery generally. So his team just wants, like, give us the numbers of the people you want. Give it to us in advance. And apparently that's not appropriate. That seems appropriate to me. I mean, again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but it seems ridiculous to me that you could just be like, no, we want everyone, and then we will decide. Non-content information. Interesting. The footnote is to crystallize their position as to the subpoena's punitive overbreadth. Counsel for the Wayfair parties indicated that the subpoenas as issued would problematically reveal whether Mr. Baldoni communicated with 5 mistresses. They actually put that in the footnote. Or whether he had communicated with 5 psychiatrists, while a non-content subpoena would not reveal the identity of either mistress or psychiatrist. They are wild. Sometimes I think Blake Lively's writing these. They are wild. It would reveal vitally important information about the phone numbers defendants contacted and when they did so, each of which is highly relevant to Miss Lively's retaliation and defamation claims, as well as being entirely permissible in the course of ordinary discovery. Well, my concern, if I was a lawyer, which I'm not, but my concern would be non-content subpoenas would not reveal the identity. Can't you just look it up? If it's like 555-5555 and you look it up in Google and it turns out to be a psychiatrist, I don't know, like I reverse look up everything. I don't answer my phone. Someone calls and I hit ignore, and then I reverse look up the number. And we all know here that I'm horrible with technology. So if I am horrible with technology and I can figure that out, I'm pretty sure Blake Lively and her team can. 2 lawyers point out that Blake Lively's team hasn't done enough legwork. She needs to find out who to subpoena after deposition. Interesting. So that's basically, I guess, what his team is saying. Like, figure out who you need, and then we'll deal with it. So that makes sense then. Hello, Rosemary. So nice to see you in the chat. I love just these chill live streams with you guys. It's just a time to hang out with you guys, and I have so much fun with them. Leo says if Blake was writing this, it would be 10 a foot. Yeah, 10 long. It's true. Yeah, it's true. It would be a lot different than it is. That's so funny. That's so funny. It's true though. It would be dragged out. We'd probably be talking about florals a bit. You know, she'd be calling someone a psychopath. So yeah, they just go on. The Wayfair parties have fallen short of the burden, making instead only general and conclusory objections as to the overbreadth of the subpoenas, initially going so far as to assert that no case law needed to be shared with counsel for the Lively Reynolds parties on this issue. Like, I don't know. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but it just seems really weird that you would just get everyone's information. I think she needs new counsel. Or is this like to set it up for failure of counsel? Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello, Leanne. It's so nice to see you. It is so nice to see you. Did you like have a ringing in your ears, my friend? I was just saying your name. Like, it said your name and just like someone's speaking to me. Someone said my name. I love it. It's so nice to see you here. I love your work. I feel bad for Justin's family and friends. I agree. I feel so bad for everyone involved in this case. The case is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. All right, what did I have up next? Oh, I did a reel on this, but did you guys see this? So I'm going to pull up. Oh, that link doesn't work. Interesting. This one will. So I just did a reel. I need to pause it. But I want to share with you guys this cafe gratitude. So let me just stay focused first and find it. Justin, apparently it came out that that's for tomorrow. I was playing clips that we're supposed to play tomorrow. Let me close that. I have too many tabs open. I'm going to close some of these. All right, closed all the tabs. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so Justin apparently on the set, I am like sweating. I need a hair tie or something. I'm not used to it being like this warm here. It's above 0 today in Ontario, and I'm used to it being like -20. I am overdressed even for in the house. Okay, so Justin Baldoni, it comes out that on the set, he was doing like gratitude practices. Now, my background is in psychology and specifically in positive psychology. And I worked as a counselor for a really long time. And it feels like another lifetime ago, but it is true. I did. And with positive psychology, you have interventions and you have tools. And gratitude practices is something that it's an intervention that you do. It is proven to help with focusing on the positive in your life and showing gratitude in the moment. And there's different ways you can apply it, but one of the ways I use it with my clients, now we're going to totally do it on live streams. We're going to start every live stream now with a gratitude practice. We're going to do it. But I start every call with my clients of what are you celebrating today? So every time I get on a call with my clients, especially my long-term one-on-one clients, we start every call with what are you celebrating today? And it starts to train the brain because a lot of people are looking at what's going wrong in their life, right? So, you know, if I start a call with a client, or what traditionally would happen is you would start a call with a client and it's like automatically what's going wrong, what's bad, what's not working. And what ends up happening over time, even if it's just, you know, once or twice a week you're meeting with someone and you start to get them to focus on the positive, is they start to seek out the positive and they start to look for the positive, which changes your mindset, changes your outlook, everything, and your emotions. So, and what ends up happening with our brain as well is we're always looking for proof to support our identity. We're always looking for proof for essentially our energetic set point, if you will. And so when you're starting to look for the gratitude, you start to look for proof in your life that things are going well and that you have things to be grateful for and that you're abundant, etc. So gratitude practices are amazing to have. And it is an actual psychological intervention with people that you do with them. And so it sounds like what happened on the set was Justin had a gratitude practice. And he's talked a lot about I think he talks about cognitive behavioral therapy. I don't think he's mentioned positive psychology, but same type of thing. He's talked about this. And it sounds like he was trying to bring it into the set to help others. And it turned out people used it against him and made fun of him for it. Well, it came out, and I have a reel on this. It came out that Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, made fun of this in Deadpool. He made fun of the gratitude practice, and he's like, oh, what's cafe gratitude doing here? So it's another Easter egg. Gratitude is the highest vibration, apparently. Yes, exactly. See, you guys get it. I love gratitude practices. I'm literally preaching to the choir. You guys get it. Is it not snowing around you? Oh my gosh, thank God it's not snowing anymore. I don't think I could mentally deal with more snow. We had about 5 feet of snow on the farm and we couldn't keep up with it to the point where like we were digging down feet worth to get in like chicken coops, and we had to dig out doors every morning, get into the goat and the sheep paddocks and stuff. Like, oh my goodness. Thankfully it's melting a bit today, but this back room that I'm filming in right now, because there's chickens in my office, this back room tends to be a little bit cooler than the rest of the house. So I bundle up to film with you guys, but I bundled up too much because it's not actually that cold outside. But yeah, we had like about 5 feet of snow. I've never seen snow in real life. Oh, well, come to Ontario. Well, it's starting to melt now, but yeah, it was about 5 feet of snow. There was times where we couldn't get off the property. It was wild. Gratitude practice isn't even religious. It's not. Exactly. It's just spiritual and it's positive. Yep. And it's used also in positive psychology. So it is an actual, if we look at positive psychology interventions, it is an intervention within positive psychology. But yes, it is also it's a spiritual practice as well, because spiritually, you're going to talk about vibration, right? So let's watch a little bit of this clip. This is Ryan making fun of a gratitude practice with more Easter eggs.
What's cafe gratitude doing here?
Sorry about that.
Grumble not, sweet Mary Poppins. I'll handle it. Come here, girl. Papa's here. Hey, do not insult this animal's autonomy. She can decide who her papa is. What's it going to be, girl, huh? Original recipe?
So that is Ryan making fun of Justin Baldoni yet again. Here's my thought on Easter eggs. Taylor is the queen of Easter eggs. She's brilliant. I mean, I will never take away the business mastery that woman has, Taylor Swift. She has been, I fully believe she has been a mastermind from day one of mastering her image and mastering her craft. She's been doing Easter eggs from day one. She's built a brand around the every woman branding archetype, psychological archetype, and she has just nailed it. And this is something we're going to talk about in the Taylor deep dive. So Easter eggs inherently aren't bad, right? So Easter eggs with Taylor can be like little hints she does, or, you know, you get the Swifties going crazy over that one necklace she had that was the clock and it was set to midnight. She wears black clothes and everyone thinks Reputation TV Taylor version's coming out. Like those types of Easter eggs are amazing. It creates a viral fan base. It ensures that people are like speaking your language, and you almost get like your own brand vocabulary, right? So the brand vocabulary, Emily D. Baker, another great example. She has a fantastic brand vocabulary. Her cursey words, we're professionals here, facts, not fuckery, law nerds, paw nerds. Like Emily D. Baker is someone that's also genius in terms of branding and community building. So that's a brand vocabulary perspective from someone that's not Taylor Swift. But Taylor Swift created this world, and it's kind of like you start to understand her language with it. Easter eggs from that aren't bad. I have questions. Thank you, Leanne. I have questions. Another one. Exactly. So she's built, Emily D. Baker, such a strong brand vocabulary and such a strong brand, right down to her colors. And Taylor's done the same thing with the brand vocabulary and the Easter eggs, and even the words Easter eggs. Usually, you know, you call them breadcrumbs, right? Like that's growing up, you call them breadcrumbs, but now they're Easter eggs. But anyway, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Just like when we look at sales psychology, now we're getting into like a sales psychology. It's like, everyone gather around. We're getting into a business training now. I know you didn't come here for this, but from a sales psychology perspective, sales psychology, Taylor uses a lot of it. It's also not negative, but it can be very manipulative. And because what is happening with things like Easter eggs and sales psychology is you're actually bypassing the conscious mind and you're going straight to the subconscious mind. So people think and feel as though they have choice. They think and they feel that they're having the option, but they're actually not, because you're bypassing the conscious mind and you're essentially programming the subconscious mind. It's not just Taylor doing it. I'm not saying like Taylor's the only one doing this. It's how people build billion-dollar brands at the end of the day. So where my issue is with Easter eggs is this. It's the way, making them out of her exes. That's where I have issues with it. John Mayer's spoken out about it. Matt Healy a little bit, but I feel like with Matt Healy, his brand and the genre and the niche he's in, it's not going to have as much of a negative effect. Like his fan base is like, yeah, screw Taylor, basically, right? Like they don't care, but it definitely negatively impacted John Mayer. He kind of disappeared after all of that. You even think of like Jake Gyllenhaal. You think of those unfollow parties that Taylor has, which is what Blake and Ryan pulled over to It Ends With Us. But it's that I can't stand. That is bullying. Easter eggs where you are destroying people's lives is bullying. And yet it feeds the frenzy. It's like throwing like blood in the water for sharks, because it's just pushing into that feeding frenzy of the community, that feeding frenzy of the fans. So, because they're trying to figure it out. And the more they try to figure it out, the more viral you go, the more prominent you are in the search engines and at the expense of someone else. Now, I don't know. Let me know your thought, guys. Do you think Ryan ever thought people were going to put this together? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you guys think he ever thought this was going to be figured out. Eggs are related to the occult. Interesting. Oh, did not know that. I get his point, honestly, and I personally like it, the gratitude practice. But if I have a critic to make at Justin Baldoni, is that maybe he's pushing his personal mindset too much on people. But yeah, I see that. I see that. And my only thing would be is just like if you are an employee at, a corporation. I think back to when I was an employee at a corporation and they had certain practices we had to do when we all got into a meeting, right? And it's like, you did these icebreakers, you did these things when you'd all meet for a meeting. And I don't think it's necessarily, as someone that comes from the background in this, I don't necessarily see it pushing a mindset. Like if you want to be miserable, I suppose they can be miserable the way I see it, but we're all obviously entitled to our own perception of it. I think like he's big on energy, right? I think he's just trying to set the tone and have that kind of positive environment, which I don't really see as personally negative. Other people might see it as negative. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, Chaos. Wayfair is allowed to have practices, though. Just because Hollywood isn't used to it doesn't make it inappropriate. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you for putting words to it. Just like any corporation, right? You work at any business. But anyway, I don't know. These Easter eggs with Ryan Reynolds are crazy. It's so inappropriate. He thinks he has super intellect. He probably thought we were too stupid to figure it out. That's a good point, too. As the director, he's responsible for the culture on set. That's a good point too. And if it's really negative and he sees it as really negative, I just don't see, like, it just seems so innocent. I don't know. Like, I think I'm just trying to think, like, if I got on a client call with someone and they were like, no, I refuse, what I would do. And I'd probably end the contract personally. Like, obviously that's different for a set, but like, I don't do well with people that are in very fixed mindsets and only seeing the negative. So I think, you know, I just think back to if I was working with someone, I'd really struggle to be around someone that's in that mindset. But I feel like poor Justin, like no matter how much he saged that set, that wasn't going to help. Artists doing prayer circles before shows. Yep, absolutely. Was it here that we talked about the motorcyclist bike accident where she died on the set of Deadpool? We didn't talk about that, but it's interesting because it's been making the rounds. And I remember that happening in real time. Oh my gosh, I have a dog hair in my eye. I'm sorry if people freak out about eyeballs. I remember that happening in real time, and it was like negligence on set, I believe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if there was anything else I had on the agenda for today. No, that's not it. You know what? We're there. Let's just pull it up. I'm going to pull up. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. I know some people have like things about eyeballs. I'm going to pull up. I just have to find it though, because I have it on in my documents for the Taylor Swift breakdown. So I'm going to have to pull it up. Just give me 1 second. But we're going to look at what Candace had to say about Taylor while we're here. And then I'm going to let you guys go. Because I found this really interesting and it's true. Okay. I think this is where I have it. Although I shouldn't tell anyone who I watch now, because apparently that means I steal from people if I watch people. So bizarre. Keeping up with this Blake Lively drama is like going to a school. This is a divination class. Like, keeping up with this drama is a full-time job. Like, I am on my computer doing research until, like, I don't know, I literally pass out right afterwards. Oh, I shared your video with Kate. Thank you. Yes, the biker was in the news, but the family settled out of court, so it was easy to make it go away. Oh, interesting. That makes sense then. And not be a long press story. I sleep listening to YouTube channels. I do that for true crime too, which I don't know what that says about me, but I'm sure someone will run with that. And now I'm going to be a psychopath, but I do. I listen to like True Crime Garage, great one. Crime Junkie, great one, but I'll fall asleep to them. Okay, let's see. I think I have it at the right spot. It was originally marked for the Taylor Swift content for next week. So this might not be the right spot, but let's see. If it is, we'll run with it.
Trying to send letters, and guess who your lawyer was? You admit, yes, the American law firm got the letter to me. Not only did we respond to you via email, okay?
Oh, that's definitely not it. That is definitely not it. Damn it. Clearly I was tired when I was sharing this. Or
who knows, but my guess is going to be, because I've seen her move, she's shutting down this friendship ASAP because she doesn't want people to have access to those messages. And I don't think it's going to be a nice girl. I don't think you're going to get a sweet girl who would have never done this to Justin Baldoni. I think the public is going to be very, very surprised when they meet the very media savvy, very capable, very business savvy Taylor Swift. That's my point.
I do agree with that. And when it comes to Taylor Swift, I honestly think she is one of the most intelligent businesswomen that are out there right now. I'm sure she has help as well, but she is just a genius. She says that she's a mastermind or something. What if I was a mastermind? I do think she's been a mastermind all along. More tea about the kicked out composer. I'm gonna have to try and find it. I love Sloan too. Another great one. Absolutely. I sleep with true crime. You guys are my people. See, I love you guys.
Now that's Tree, by the way, with the red hair. And listen, I respect them both. They've killed it. They've killed her brand. They've killed stories. They've persuaded the masses. And like I said, no matter what happens, I'm still bopping London Boy. It's a great song. And there's some more songs too that my daughter likes off of the Lover album, in what's known as an anti-slap motion.
Yeah, so I agree with Candace. And there's another piece I'm going to show you guys in the Taylor Swift, and you can obviously watch Candace as well. The exclusive Taylor Swift will be deposed. But I agree with her. I think the public, when you actually see behind the brand, will be shocked. She's been very smart about creating a brand. No link. Let me see if I can find it. Whoa, almost knocked you guys over. It's going to feel crazy when we actually get my office back, guys. Like, I literally have chickens in there right now. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it? I don't know if this is the most breaking news. Blake Lively blindsided and fired composer for It Ends With Us just 2 months before film's release and quickly replaced him as rumors swirl Taylor Swift was involved in the scandal. That's part of the deep dive, is like, how involved was Taylor? Did you guys see, and I don't want to, this is my problem with ADHD and I get distracted. I don't want to get too far down this rabbit hole, but I'm also looking at Ronan Farrow in regards to it. And I've been looking into him for some time because if you remember, just before, just teasing the series that's coming out for Taylor, just before the New York Times article dropped and all this drama, I think it was about a month before, Taylor was seen out with Ronan Farrow. And it's just interesting. He denied that, well, he actually didn't deny that he had anything to do with it. What he did say was that he didn't work for the New York Times. But if you actually read how he responded to people in his Instagram comments, Ronan Farrow actually never denied that he was involved at all. All he said was he doesn't work for the New York Times. So I don't know. We're going to look at it. But there's sticky fingers all over Hollywood. And then I also found out that Isabella is the niece of George Clooney. Did you guys know that? Exclusive. Sad truth behind Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's feud. Okay, let me see if I can find that one. Oh, there it is. Daily Mail. Perfect. Thanks, Mel. But yeah, so Isabella Ferrer is the niece of George Clooney. I think it's niece. I think it's niece. I think it's niece. Oh, Ferrer was a cousin, or is a cousin of actor George Clooney, and nephew of, or no, that's her dad. Miguel is her dad. I think I put it on X. Let me double check because I have it on X. What does Emily D. Baker say? More Emily D. Baker brand language. Live streaming is dynamic. See what I mean? Emily D. Baker has like literally the best brand vocabulary. Isabel Ferrer is the granddaughter of Rosemary Clooney and cousin of George Clooney. So cousin. Her dad, Raphael Ferrer, is an artist and actor as well. So granddaughter of Rosemary Clooney, cousin of George Clooney, which I found interesting. It's just interesting. I'm not claiming that's why she got the role. I just thought it was really interesting. That's all. I think she did fantastic. I think she's one of the only people in the movie that did fantastic, to be honest. I thought she was great. I hope she makes the right choice, though, moving forward. I can't imagine, Isabel Ferrer, how difficult this, like, the situation's got to be horrific. If you realize that, like, someone you saw as your friend and mentor turned their back on you or was manipulating you, I can't even imagine. All right. Sad truth behind Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's feud over unnamed It Ends With Us composer revealed. Interesting. Okay, Leanne broke the dance scene. I was wondering, did you just catch that part where I was like, who broke it? I can't remember. Thank you, Leanne, for saying that, because I couldn't remember in the moment. And I saw your post late at night, and then I was like passed out drooling after. So thank you, because I always like to give credit to who did that. Isabel did a great job in the movie. Definitely the best performance. Yeah, I feel so bad. I agree. George Clooney can kick rocks. I love you guys. As an up-and-coming actress, she do well to keep away from such Hollywood circles. Yep, I agree. If I was Isabel, I would defend Blake and then question Blake and then tap out until it's resolved hating everyone. It's gonna be a wild emotional ride for her. I genuinely feel bad for her. So Blake Lively left one of the world's highest grossing film composers fearing for his reputation after she brutally cut him from It Ends With Us and never even listened to his finished score. Whoops-a-daisy. Acclaimed musician Brian Tyler, whose credits include a slew of Marvel blockbusters, was hired by Baldoni, 41, to work on the Colleen Hoover adaptation, which is the center of a bitter legal battle. But he was blindsided after the actress unceremoniously dropped and swiftly, wink, wink, replaced him with Rob Simonson and Duncan Blickenstaff, who had worked with her husband, Ryan Reynolds, on Deadpool just 2 months before the film was released. That's awful. That's shady. She is shady. Now, insiders have claimed BAFTA and Emmy Award nominee Tyler, 52, was terrified of people in the industry discovering he had been replaced and was left fearing for the impact on his decade-long career. When Blake took over the film, Brian had already finished a majority, if not all, the score based on what Justin wanted creatively for the film, a source said. Blake didn't even listen to his score. She knew that she wanted to bring on Rob and Duncan. Wow. Baldoni had approached Tyler for the project, having worked together in 2019's 5 Feet Apart about 2 young patients with cystic fibrosis. Oh, I didn't know that. And 2020's Clouds, which followed a young musician with terminal cancer. Baldoni and producer Jamie Heath fought with Lively 37 over the decision to axe Tyler, but were left with no option but to call him and break the devastating news that he was being shafted from the project. Jamie and Justin fought this, obviously, but when it became clear that there was nothing they could do, they called Brian and told him that he was being let go. Can you imagine that phone call? Ugh. I can't even imagine. And he had to deal with the firing of the, was it first and second AD? That's wild. He shared his concern at the time that he did not want it to be known that he was fired. He had never been fired in his life and wanted this to be super confidential. He is listed as uncredited for It Ends With Us on IMDb and his score unused. The audacity of these people. The source insisted Tyler never worked with or met Taylor Swift, despite rumors swirling that the singer told Lively she would only use one of her songs if Tyler was not involved. Oh. Interesting. So he never worked with or met Taylor. So what's Taylor's problem with him then? I want to know. Does anyone know? Guys, I'm going to be up all night now looking into that, trying to figure it out. I only use YouTube. I didn't know you guys were going through that. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I feel like I missed something. I think a lot of people are going through comment jail right now. Interestingly enough, anything I missed the comments you guys are talking about, but just to follow along on that, anything I post about Ari Emanuel or Taylor Swift gets no traction right now at all. None. But I'm still going to do the deep dive on her next week. I really don't care. Tyler maybe didn't want to use Taylor's song. That's a good point. So they found this lie that he was mean to Taylor. That's possible. That's very possible. Especially if like you look at the pictures, like the prom or the poster, there's the word I was looking for, the movie poster of Justin Baldoni's version versus Blake Lively's. Justin's version gave a much like more appropriate domestic violence approach to the movie. It seemed a lot darker. So, you know, I can see that a Taylor Swift song probably didn't fit in. It probably stood out in not a good way. So I can see that. It's a good point, Mel. I can definitely see that. Harvard-educated Tyler is among the top 10 highest grossing film composers of all time, having seen his films earn around $14.9 billion. So it's not like this is some rando. His resume includes Marvel blockbusters Avengers, Age of Ultron, Iron Man 3, and Thor, The Dark World. I do like Thor movies. I will say that. I do like the Marvel's movies, as well as Fast and the Furious franchise, Crazy Rich Asians, and Illumination's highest grossing film to date, the Super Mario Brothers movie, which broke multiple box office records. I didn't even know there was a Super Mario Brothers movie. His TV credits include the Yellowstone. Oh, I do love Yellowstone. Great show. Magnum PI and Hawaii Five-0, amongst others. Like it's not as if this is some random person. That is wild. The musician whose grandfather was an Academy Award-winning art director, Walter H. Tyler, is also the brains behind the Formula One theme, which he performed at a special event to celebrate 75th anniversary in London this week. Wow. Ah, damn it. My mouse connection's lost. This is what you get when you don't charge your mouse. Damn it. We're going to roll with it. So, all right. Well, that's interesting and very unfortunate. And his problem is just that he wasn't what Blake wanted. That's just wild. Thor 2 is my favorite. I really liked it too. Everyone hates it, but I actually like Thor 2. I really liked it. She really messed up that movie from so many angles. Did you guys see the original Love Thor? See, it's a family here. Still like Thor 2. Holds up plot-wise. I love it. Blake had to hire a composer for her Oh, well, there you go. Blake had to hire a composer for her PGA. Oh. I just can't with these people. All right. I want to pull up Leanne now that we remember, and she reminded me of where I saw the dance scene. Thank you for reminding me, Leanne. I don't know if you saw that part of the live where it's like, I saw it somewhere and I can't remember. Let's give her credit. Go follow her over on X. She is wonderful. I love her account. Okay. Without a mouse, let's see if I can navigate this. Okay, so she broke this. Leanne Newton over on X decided to watch Green Lantern. I've never seen it before and want to see if it really was as bad as everyone says. It definitely is, guys. If you haven't seen it, it definitely is. But I noticed that about 30 minutes into the film, there's a scene where Lively and Reynolds characters dance in a bar in an almost identical way to the slow dance scene from It Ends With Us. The only difference is the characters were talking. Could it be possible that Lively was trying to recreate the scenes to be similar to the scene she did with her husband when she fell in love with him, which is also when he was married to Scarlett Johansson? We are also dealing with that tomorrow in part 3 of our deep dive series. He has just left a wake of people. Like tomorrow we are looking at like just the wake of people Ryan Reynolds has left behind him, from Alanis Morissette, ScarJo, actresses, actors, directors. Like we are just looking at the complete. Find any blinds recently. Blinds, well, I guess the blinds were more around like the SAG awards and stuff, and they weren't there. So that might be why. But Lady C over on X says, is Blake Lively insane or just insanely obtuse and arrogant? I mean, I think she's probably both. Bye, P. So nice to see you. Can she seriously believe that we are being duped by her assertion that the Hollywood Reporter should be ashamed of itself as a result of its coverage of a mess that is totally a result of her own conduct and attitudes? Why should it be ashamed of anything because it has dared to state the self-evident? It's true. That's a good point. Doesn't Lively understand that women all over the world disapprove of a manipulative egotist like her, who proudly confessed in interviews over a period of years that she deceived employers with the intention of breaching acceptable boundaries so that she could upsurge the roles of other professionals in films? She was employed to act in, accumulating in the hijacking of It Ends With Us. I mean, you know, Blake's essentially asking us not to believe our own eyes and ears. Blake Lively, a sisterhood isn't falling for your claptrap. We don't agree with your interpretation of the theft you pulled off and the abuse to which you've been subjecting the unfortunate Justin Baldoni and all the other innocents you've roped into the sixth scenario. We don't think that the Hollywood Reporter should be anything but proud of itself for the way it has handled this scandalous situation, which is totally of your own and your husband's creation. I agree with her. It isn't framing this picture. It's in an outrageously insulting way, so that it plays into every sexist trope about women who dare file a workplace complaint, turning them into the aggressor and suggesting they deserve the retaliation that comes their way. You know, it just rings true. The way she's dealt with the Hollywood Reporter is also like when Justin defended himself, he was an abuse. Like, it's like, well, there, it's out of the abuser handbook. Look, he's abusing me again. No, he's defending himself. So people aren't allowed to defend themselves. You know, that happened to me recently where I defended myself where someone had misunderstood. Well, it was a complete lie. They're accusing me of something that was a complete lie. And I defended myself and they were like, well, you defended yourself. And so it's obvious because you defended yourself that you're guilty. And it's the same thing that, you know, with Justin. Like, Justin is defending himself. He's allowed to respond, right? But she accuses him of being like, oh, it just proves you're the abuser. So what, he should just take it? Just let you say whatever you want? Right? And now she's doing it again. It's like, this is your own making, Blake. But it's this situation of your own making does not mean the Hollywood Reporter reporting on it means that women deserve the retaliation that comes their way. I'm still waiting for the smoking gun. I also do believe in some, you know, there's some, if you want to call it conspiracy theories going around right now in regards to the Hollywood Reporter, that they did this article intentionally to make it seem like they're neutral. I could see that. Like, I could buy into that. The Hollywood Reporter owned by WME owner group. Yeah, I'm trying to find the threads on that. I don't doubt it at all. But I also think that just Ari Emanuel owns everything. I genuinely, like, when you start to, my husband and I over the weekend were looking into different holdings he has and connections he has. And we were like, we can't look at this time of night. Like, we have to dedicate a day to it because the web is wild. Like, it just feels like everything comes back to him. It feels like he owns everything. Ryan Reynolds said that a year before Deadpool 3 came out during the filming of It Ends With Us. I think the proposal line in Deadpool was actually poking fun at Justin's proposal video. Oh, which went viral. Interesting. It's a very old blind about Ryan Reynolds and Blake and Sandra, but literally confirmed by Ryan Reynolds posting an almost nude film shot of Sandra and him. Oh my gosh, he is wild. Sadly, both should have done research how couples and women act after SH. Yeah. Well said. Like many other women, so this is Lady C on X, what I object to is your pretense of SH when it's obvious you haven't been SH'd. Wrapping yourself in the mantle of victimhood when you're obviously anything but a victim is not commendable. Aside from anything else, it minimizes the suffering of genuine victims and makes it that much easier for perpetrators to say, you see, every hustler and fraud who wants to pull off a con will accuse a man of SH when she's the aggressor and the objective isn't sexual but financial. I mean, it's true. It does make it much more difficult for real victims to be heard. Like, I worked in this field. I remember when I was picking up shifts as a supervisor at a group home, and you'd have like on-call shifts, right? And the amount of times that I would get called in on an emergency call into the group home to deal with girls where they had ran away, so they AWOL'd, eventually came back and said, you know, I was SA'd at this party. or this, just telling us about what happened at the party. And I have sat in hospitals and ERs with young girls while they're speaking to police officers and getting kits done. And it's horrific. And to think that I think the culture is probably worse now than it was, 20 years ago, I guess I was in the field. I think it's actually harder for women to be heard now because of, I almost want to say because of the Me Too movement. I hate to say it. I think we needed the Me Too movement, but I think it went so far to the other direction where it made it harder for real victims to be heard. Anyway, Lady C says, you're harassing us, the public, with these preposterous statements in the hopes that we'll believe that you were harassed by a man who plainly did not harass you. You better be careful, for you're starting to make Amber Heard look good. Does Ari have holdings in Meta? I am trying to figure that out right now, because let me tell you, my friend, if I put a reel up, like if I even look at my TikTok, anything about him or Ari Emanuel gets like 200 views, surrounded by other TikToks that are getting 15K, 34K views. Like, I can't get traction on anything that says, even on YouTube. I really struggle to get traction on things with his name attached to it. But not so much on YouTube as Meta platforms, even on TikTok though. But I don't know. Who knows? But I am looking into that because I do want to see, I want to figure that out, because I know Donna from Daily Dose of Donna, she is so lovely, by the way. She is the sweetest. I like her a lot. But she's actually in like a Instagram jail right now. And all she did was one of her comments that was made on the Hollywood Reporter, that Blake Lively post with the funny image that looks like it should be like a poster or something. She made a comment on it, which was then shared across social media and used in different articles. And now Donna from Daily Dose of Donna can't comment, and her account's restricted. So I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, that's a good point. Yes, his brother was Obama's chief of staff. So, and that's also what I'm trying to look into, is his family and seeing where the threads go, because yes, there's political ties as well. It's wild. The Me Too movement was good. Unfortunately, some people use it in a way to boost their stats by making up shit. Amber Heard. Yep. And I really believe, guys, that Blake and Ryan did not foresee it going this far. I really don't believe it. Yep. SEO manipulation, silencing. I made a Baldoni comment, then I got IG prison. Oh my, it's actually funny that you say that, Kitty. If I look, it's so funny. And I didn't even think of this until you mentioned it. You know how, like TikTok and Meta will filter out comments and say it's spam? If I can have Blake Lively people on my platform saying like absolutely horrific things, like just being vile, bordering harassing, and their comments don't get filtered out, but I'll have people just supporting Blake Lively, supporting Justin Baldoni, and their comments are labeled as spam. It's really bizarre, because whenever I see, like on TikTok, for example, I'm afraid to like I have ADHD and rejection sensitivity. Like sometimes going into comments give me anxiety, but I love hanging out with you guys and I love engaging with you guys. So like I take a deep breath and I just go in. But with TikTok, it says like, do you want to see the hidden comments? And I'm always so nervous to check, right? But I check them anyway. And 100% of the time so far, the spam comments on TikTok or on Meta platforms are ones supporting Justin. And it'll just be nice, sweet comments. They're not bad. But the ones in regards to Blake and like just like harassing type comments are not being filtered out. It's interesting. I think they're putting a blocker on smaller platform creators. I wouldn't be surprised. Ari is from a wealthy and powerful family. He's hard to touch. His brother was the embattled mayor of Chicago. I did not realize that. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm going into a rabbit hole. I want to say going into the dragon's den, but then that's offensive to dragons to compare him and his family to dragons. Although Blake Lively already tarnished the reputation of dragons with her drama. So wild. TikTok suspended my account. Wow. Lizard admitted to filtering, didn't he? Apologized too. Yeah, he did. He admitted to filtering. Call it a snake pit. That's better. I don't want to be offensive to dragons. All right, my friends. They're mafia. They are. They are literally mafia. You do, I bet Ari created to take down his competitors like Harvey. You know what's so funny, Mel? I had wondered. I'm not saying Harvey's innocent by any stretch, guys. Please do not take my words out of context. But it just made it interesting. Like, I don't know. There's something there, I think, Mel. And I'm not saying, guys, that Harvey's innocent, but they protect their own. So it's just interesting that someone got thrown under the bus. One family with two insanely powerful bros. Yep. Expose Ryan Reynolds' hypocrisy, please. See his admission essentially harassing Olivia Wilde. Interesting, Demi. Let me make a note. I will make a note of it right now because I will forget. I don't mean to forget things when you guys tell me to check something out, but I do forget. I'm just going to make a note for myself. All right. I will look into that. I have part 3 coming up tomorrow. I might be able to look into that tonight once the puppy goes to bed. Once the puppy goes to bed and I can sit down, I can look into that. That's crazy. A third Emmanuel brother with power. Wow. All right, my friends. It was so good to hang out with you guys today. I genuinely love these types of streams where we just chill and chat and look at headlines. This is part 3. Part 3 is tomorrow. But that will be the topic. We're breaking down. What time do I have it set for? Let me check my schedule. 2:00 tomorrow is the time. I have client calls all day. We will jump on after all my client calls. But 2:00, I have part 3 scheduled for tomorrow. And we're going to be breaking down like the wake of Ryan Reynolds. No, man. No, this isn't part 3. No. We're just chilling today. This call's just chilling. Community coming together. Today was just like, bring your hot chocolate. We're just hanging out. I miss these kind of lives. I miss the ones where we're just like pulling up headlines as they come up, looking at what's going down in this case. I missed you guys and just hanging out. When I do the deep dives, it's a little bit more serious and I'm like staying on track. So I wanted to hang out with you guys and just have a fun live. So excited. Yeah. Watching Wicked today. I still need to see Wicked. Haven't been to a movie this whole year. Oh my gosh. I don't even remember last time I left the house. I'll leave a link to the article in this video for you when it wraps up. Amazing. Thank you. That is fantastic. So yeah, if you guys have anything that you want me to add last minute to tomorrow. So tomorrow's part 3 of the Blake Ryan Trojan Horse playbook, we're diving into Ryan and like just the wake of people left behind him, like the destruction he's had on people. So if there's anything relevant to that, you guys can just leave it in the link on this video and I'm happy to look into it and add it tonight. I should have time to sit down with it and make some edits tonight. All right, my friends, as always, I love hanging out with you. You guys are the best community. I just want you guys to know that I know I say it every time. It's corny. All right, I'm going to do a gratitude practice with you guys right now. And I'm going to say, you can jump off if you can't handle it, that I am very grateful, like genuinely grateful for you guys. And I look forward to hanging out with you guys all the time. And like today was just to come and hang out because I genuinely just like hanging out with you guys. And it's fun to talk to you guys about this stuff. I have no one else to talk to about this. I drive my husband crazy. So we get to hang out, we get to chat, and I really feel like I found my people. And I just want each of you to know that I appreciate you and I'm grateful for you. And I'm going to push my beliefs of being grateful for people on you guys today with love. Exo Gossip Girl. Blake Lively. All right, guys. And honestly, I'll see you tomorrow, Mel. It is so nice to hang out with you guys. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, I'll get the live stream up so you can get notified in advance. But we are diving into like a dark web of Ryan Reynolds. Bring your sage. I'm going to bring sage tomorrow. Usually Mel covers us with the sage. I am also going to bring sage. All right, guys. I love you guys. thank you for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.